Hello there, this is Cookie. So I've got turn 91 pulled up, and we should have a big battle this turn in the hole, so let's look at that first. So the last stand of Kalem. Oh, there's nothing here. Never mind. So maybe not just yet. We do get attacked by Ulm. Irene kills some stuff. Anything? Loses a little bit there. Raid. And kill. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. So we don't end up fighting a golem. We end up fighting, or we do end up getting a golem, but we also get the monolith. We got a few water elementals. And so what we're trying to do is buff them with mist form, which I think is kind of funny. So we've got this guy pretty weak. I guess he doesn't have any gear on him. So he ends up dying in this replay. And we do end up killing him. We also kill the Master Mason, who is a merc. So, I don't know, kind of fun. Knocking out another golem. Then in the hole... No, we saw that. Okay. Units have been healed. Alright, so we're sieging this fort. This is interesting. We can still get magic phased here by flyers and other bullshit. But we can't get magic phased on while we're here. So that is a nice thing about being here. In terms of our script, just a lot of the late game stuff. Some of it can be backcasted, I think. Because we're trying a little bit to avoid getting gym baited. Actually, a lot of it's front-ended. Serpent's Blessing, Foul Vapor. I mean, we're putting up a lot of stuff. Crossfin, Quagmire, some other bullshit. Arrowfend. There is a large army here. And then we've got some stuff coming back here to guard the retreat route. But yeah, most of our stuff is under siege, so we won't have to worry about playing this game too much longer. And I'll go ahead and pull up turn 92. Okay, so I've got turn 92 pulled up. And Sylvania. We attack with some scouts. We're trying to get rid of a little bit of upkeep. And maybe, you know, if something's got 1 PD, maybe 3 scouts can kill it. You never know. And then in the hole, let's see. And we get, instead of a glorious battle, we get a dastardly gym bait. So he gets to see our script, and we spend a lot of gems. In the fortress at Yellow Caves, which I guess we can look at the script really quick. And really, my mistake here was I probably should have had 20 or 30 troops just on attack, just to try and take care of this. And the gem bait isn't terrible. We kill it pretty quickly. At least it's my memory. But yeah, so that was annoying. But, you know, fair play. But I was hoping for glorious battle. Let's see. Troll out some more scouts, false prophet, whatever. Okay, so we've outlasted Pangea at least, so we know that Pan army died. We're losing stuff to upkeep now. We're going to go ahead and magic phase here. So we've got another water elemental guy. We'll see what we can land on here. Ulm takes this fort. Pyrene takes this fort. We're just kind of meandering around. And we're going to go ahead and storm if he doesn't take the battle this turn. We've back done some of our gems. And I think our script got a little bit simpler too. So even stuff like Firefend is coming out later. It depends on the gem supply. But yeah, let's go into turn 93. So I've got turn 93 pulled up here. All right, so we did a couple of cloud trapezes. We've got endless caverns. And unfortunately, our mages got sniped, which is what actually happened. Very sad. We ran into Zots. In the hole, though, I think we finally get our fight. So Storm is automatically up. We've got our army. He's got his army. He's got a bunch of Evo bait out in front. Big cores of Demon Knights, Storm Demons. He's got a front line of his Knights. Il-Urs. I've stuffed a bunch of random gems on my guy. He's got Earthcasters. Pretty efficient about putting buffs on his armies. Tends not to bring too many mages. We've brought this guy. I put a bunch of gems and a ring of wizardry on him. So he'll loot whatever he loots. And then this guy's got an immaculate shield, so pretty cool. So he's Holy 3 actually, which is an interesting way to get another Holy 3 caster. The Immaculate Shield gives a priest level, Ring of the False Prophet gives a priest level, so you can like build your own Holy 3. That's pretty neat. This Phaedream Enchantress has a Sword of Many Colors, which is a glamour booster now. I thought that used to be an elemental booster, so I think this has been nerfed a little, if I remember right. Also a Gossamer Veil. I've got somebody with a Staff of Elemental Mastery, so I've got an Air 7 with the Dome of the Ancients. So, I mean, this is a big loot opportunity for Pyrene. And then we've got this Incubus, who's Glamour 4, also going to do some big glamour stuff. We brought our Naiad, Nature 5. He's brought the Queen of Thunder. I think he Gift of Natured it. So it's got a Staff of Storm, Crown of Elements, which gives Elemental +1 for those skills. Armor of the Dawn, Girdle of Might. Yeah, lots of interesting mages here. I'm not expecting to do much this fight, but it should be a fun battle. So we see here a really big morale play, and then Quagmire. So, sorry to disappoint you guys, but this is not what happened. And I think the difference maker here is in the most recent patch. I think they've silently fixed Blood Rain so that it affects everyone on the battlefield. And I think that caused some of the big mages on his side to retreat in this replay, which ruined some of the support that they were getting. So while here we had a really, really close battle where I end up winning, where we've got our Lich, we've got our Deva of Destruction, our Deva of Oppression. Like, we still have a lot of big mages here. We got our Naiad, Spenta of Waters. We've got our Pretender. Like, most of our biggest mages, including the High Seraph with the Staff of Elemental Mastery, most of them are still alive here. I mean, the rest of the army is shattered out of its mind, but you know, we put up life after death. That's how we have all these undead birds. But yeah, this was pretty cool to see that sometimes when I put together a late game army on intuition, sometimes it can do more than I expect. So it was really cool to see. In terms of what actually happened, we do get defeated. We kill maybe half the Demon Knights, maybe half of the Emerald Knights. We plow through the Soulless, we kill some of the Storm Demons. But I think what ends up happening is eventually we succumb to the morale play. So Blood Rain and Wailing Winds. None of his mages rout from his own Blood Rain. We don't get any lucky kills. We do kill the Queen of Thunder that jumps in. But in the end, most of our stuff routs. And this is important because he cuts my retreat route. So he brings 100 Storm Demons on some commanders here, some flyers, and does kind of a little surprise raid that I wasn't expecting here. Cleans out my PD, and so cuts my retreat route, so all of my mages here end up dying. So that pretty much finishes me off, but I thought it was cool to see like an alternative scenario. Who knows if we even would have won storming the fort, but if we did, we would have had a lab. We could have resupplied our mages at least, and maybe had a little bit more fun with it. I'll go ahead and pull up turn 94. From here on out, it's going to be very quick, so we'll go ahead and wrap up this short series. Okay, so here we go. Got turn 94. Yep, sorry, stepped away as soon as I did the intro. Okay, so I've got turn 94. And we've got, this army's moving on. Clearing out some stuff. We lose a scout. We run into a bunch of storm demons. I'll go ahead and show you what they do to birds. Oh. Yeah, we were on hold and attack, which was a mistake, so we all just died. And then in the halls. Yeah. So that's pretty much that. Our last fort here is about to be put under siege. We have just what we've gathered here. And Ulm's in the way. Now, from what I've heard, Pyrian's about to attack Ulm. So they might not be around for much longer, and that's why their stuff is gone. They didn't come down here to come take our other fort. So I'll go ahead and pull up turn 95. Okay, so I've got turn 95 pulled up. We lose another province. Some stuff gets sieged. We do see Pyrene sieging Ulm, so we know that's true. And I'll go ahead and pull up turn 96. All right, so I've got turn 96 pulled up. We catch a couple of battles, or I guess raids. So they take our last little fort here. Take an Olmish fort. And then we get put under siege, or no, we lose a province. Got a couple of scouts left, so I'm just kind of seeing how this is going. And I guess I can go ahead and pull up turn 97. Okay, so I've got turn 97 pulled up. Not much happens, so I'll go ahead and pull up turn 98. All right, so I've got turn 98 pulled up. We can see this Pyrene army is going out of its way to finish us off. We're going to pillage this for a little bit of money. And we're going to sneak this guy with his Ring of Water breathing over here. We made one of those. And then we're going to send this Earth Gnome with a stealth item over here. And then we're hoping to come up with enough money to start building a fort here. And apparently Calum needs Dominion to start building a fort because the shit's made of ice. So we need to get a couple of priests over here and start preaching this. So we can get a candle or two and start our fort. We've actually got the money. And then, yeah, and then we can see Ulm dying. I guess I never did show the globals up, but Nabah's got Arcane Decree, which is a pretty cool way to control globals. So new hostile global enchantments and dispels have their might reduced by half. Anyone but the rightful pretender. He's got Pyre, he's got Forge of the Ancients for all that gear. Pythium has Stellar Focus. And Pyrene has Earthblood Deepwell, Riches from Beneath, and Blood Vortex. But our world is a much smaller one, so I'll go ahead and pull up turn 99. Okay, so I've got turn 99 pulled up. We do some pillaging and get some gold. Oh, that's interesting. You can repel pillagers. I don't feel like your own province. I don't know. That makes pillaging a lot worse. Pillaging was already really bad. Interesting. Okay. And then, yeah, they roll through our PD. We kill one Demon Knight. And then I'll go ahead and pull up turn 100. All right, so I've got turn 100 pulled up. And we see that Ulm has been permanently vanquished. So we've managed to outsurvive both Pangea and Ulm, which is pretty cool. There is an arena deathmatch that we can watch. We'll see the battle. All right, so we're sending, I think this force is coming out to Jimbei, or just to say hello. An Incubus does jump in, so we might be able to kill that. A little bit of friendly fire there. We do not... Oh yeah, we do end up killing an Incubus. We also get an Adept killed, and we get 3 Demon Knights killed. And then in our fortress, we kill 5 more Demon Knights, probably to friendly fire, because we don't actually kill anything. Worldwide event, Heat, and the arena battle. So Pythium and Nabah, we've got the arena champion, Master of Games. The very basic kit, nothing interesting. Going up against a Wraithlord with a stone sword. Which I think could petrify himself. And I'm not sure if he has the MR to resist it. The Amulet of Anti-Magic that I think he might have had got replaced by the Slave Collar. And then there's a bottle of living water. Storm armor, spirit helmet. But yeah, a little bit of risk of petrifying himself to death. Unless he's immune. But yeah, works out. So kills the Master of Games. So we've survived a couple of nations. Now, survive is a word. We've gotten some dominion here, so we've started building our fort. We're preaching here, and this guy's just hiding out for good measure. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and pull up turn 101. All right, so I've got turn 101 pulled up. I guess there's a battle here. All right, yeah, so Pythium sends his little deep ones. Oh, some of these guys are sacred. Fanatic deep ones. That's cool. They take the bless. Mad deep ones. But we PD dumped this a little bit. It's Sino PD. Alright, so we killed that. Alright. And then I'm going to keep building my ice walls. So turn 101, I'll see you in turn 102. Okay, so I've got turn 102 pulled up. Literally nothing happens. So I'll pull up turn 103. Alright, so turn 103, and we do get raided. So he finds us. He sends a Sorgina with a fair amount of gear. As an LP, Girdle of Might, Boots of Youth, Armor of Knights, Dragon Helmet, and a Rune Smasher, and 2 Fire Gems against our little happy enclave. So much commitment to killing us. We're just hanging out. Yeah, so trying to kill some of the imps. Once buffed, she's up at 20 protection with pretty good stats, 13 attack, 14 defense. Has a black cat shape change, but I don't think she would take that. Does have Mistform, Fire Shield, Damage Reversal, Air Shield, and Phoenix Pyre, the most important part. In case she does happen to get killed somehow. Although she's somewhat high fatigue, it might not trigger. Alright, so we end up losing that. And then our scout gets patrolled out. But yeah, and that's it for the game for us. So I'd like to take a look at the graphs here. So you can see here, I'm not sure where exactly I sub in to this precipitous decline in provinces. I know I subbed in with our capital under siege, so I don't know, maybe halfway. And then we've got forts. So you can see how many, gosh, it's so many forts too. They all just go away. And then income, gem income. There was a little bit of blood hunting happening. Research leveled off as everyone died. Dominion, army size. I wonder, let's see, like right here. I don't know how to mark that. It'd be nice if there was kind of like a grid on here. Yeah, so maybe I took over here because maybe I killed off most of the army, but maybe he killed off most of the troops because aside from the main army, most of the stuff I had left was mages. So maybe I could have been this portion. I'm not sure. I like to think that he had more stuff than what I ended up having. But yeah, you can kind of see like there's some really bloody wars, but he was gaining in territory. Although it looks like really bloody wars to gain small amounts of territory for maybe like through here. So maybe lost a lot of tempo here. But yeah, it was a fun little late game sub. Did it towards the beginning of the year. I had just passed a cert, so I had some more time. I didn't have to worry about the cert anymore. And yeah, was looking to join some games, but early game doesn't take much time. So I thought this late game would be something fun to do in the meantime while those other games kicked up. So that was the idea here. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.